What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So in this lesson, we are going to be working on the find the longest word in a string challenge from the FreeCodeCamp curriculum. Okay, so if you are here just for the final solution, check the description in the link below. I will include the timestamp so you can jump straight to the final solution if that's what you are here for. It's absolutely fine. But if you want to know the approach and understand how we arrived at that final solution, then let's get started. Okay, so first let's try and understand the problem. So we are given a function and we are supposed to write the function such that given a word or a string, which is a sentence, so return the length of the longest word in the provided sentence. Your response should be a number, which means the response should be the length, which is a number, and not the word itself. Let me give you an example. For example, if you are given the string, let me say my friend is here. Now, as you can see from here, the longest word in this string is this, friend. And how many? What's the length of this word? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you are given the string, your function should return the number 6. It should not return the word friend. It should return the number 6 because that's the length of the longest word. All right, now that we understand the problem, let's try and create a solution. So the way I like to approach it, as always, is to write down some pseudocode, okay? So pseudocode is just how I intend to approach it and how we are going to solve the problem before we even write the code. So given a string or a sentence, because the string is going to be a sentence as we are told, the first thing I would like to do is to split the sentence. So I want to split the sentence into an array of words. Okay, so that way we'll have the individual words separately. Then what I'll do is I'll look through the array. But before I even look through the array, I would create a variable. I'll call it longest word length. And I'm sure you have an idea what this will do. And I'll initialize it to the number 0. Okay. Then I'll look through all the array of words because I want to get the length of each one of them. Okay, so look through the array of words. And then what do I want to do for each iteration of the loop? So for each iteration of the loop, what I want to do is I want to check the length of the current word. Okay, so check the length of the current word. Now, if I check the length of the current word, what do I want to do? Now, what I want to do is if it's greater than the current value of longest word length, that's the variable that we've created and initialized to 0. So if it's greater than the current value of longest word length, I would want to replace the current value of longest word length. Okay, then after I've gone through all of the words, what will I do? What I'll do is just return the value of longest word length when the loop is finished or when the loop is done running. Okay, so that's what I would do. So if you want to take your time, you can rewind and then go through how I intend to approach the problem before you actually come to look at the code. So now, if you've done that or if you're okay with it, let's get back to writing the code itself. So, all right, so what's the first thing we say we are going to do? We say we are going to split the sentence into an array of words. So I'll say I want to call this array of words just words. I want to call it words. So I'm going to say let words equal to we say we're going to split it, right? So split the sentence into an array of words. So let words equal to str.split. Okay, now let me do a console log of words. You see we'll get an array. But when you look closely, this array has just one item, which is the whole string. So it's treating the whole sentence as just one item. But that is not what we want. What we want is we want to get each individual word as an item in the array. So to get that, we have to give the split method an argument. So we'll give it an argument of space, okay? Now what this happens is anytime the split method meets space, it changes the next thing into an item in the array. So now we have the quick brown fox. Each of these ones is an individual item in the array. Okay, let's continue. Now after splitting, what do we want to do? We want to create a variable longest word length. Let me just copy it. And we want to initialize it to 0. Okay, so I'll just say let longest word length equal to 0. All right, now what's the next thing we want to do? We want to loop through the array of words. So we need our loop right here, and we want to start, of course, from the first word in the array. So I'm going to say let I equal to 0. 0, not O, 0. I is less than words, which is the array of words, dot length. Then I plus plus. Okay. Now what we want to do for each iteration, we want to check the length of the current word if it's greater than the current value of longest word. So what I'll do is I'll create a variable, say let length of current word. Now set it equal to the length of the current words. How do I get the length of the current word? So it's going to be the words at the index of I. Okay, so dot length. Okay, all right. Now before we move on, let's do a console.log and let's do length of current word. Let's see what we are getting, just to be sure we are on the right track. Okay, as you can see, there is 3 words. We have 3 here. Quick is also 5 words. We have 5. Brown is 5 words. We have another 5. Fox is 3 words. We have 3 here. So you see, we are getting the length of the words now. All right, now that we are getting the length of the words, what do we want to do with this? We want to check if the length of the current word is greater than the current value of longest word length. So we'll say, let's bring our if statement. And then we'll say if, I'll just copy this, length of current word, if it is greater than longest word length. So I'll just copy this. So if it's greater than that, what do we want to do? We want to replace the value of longest word length. So I'm just going to say longest word length is equal to the length of current word. Okay, now once I'm done with that, I'll jump out of the loop. So when the loop is done running, what do I want to return? I want to return longest word length. Okay, so I'll just say longest word length. Okay, and then as you can see, let me, before I run the test, let me do a console.log of longest word length to show you something. Okay, so you see, the first time the loop runs, longest word length is 3 because 3 is greater than 0, which is the initial word. Now the next time it runs is 5. The next time it runs again is 5. The next time it runs again is 5 because 5 is greater than 3. Now the next word is also 5, which is the same as 5, so that's it. Now when you get to 6, 6 is greater than 5, so the longest word length becomes 6. And it becomes 6 throughout because after we get the word with the 6 length, the other words that comes after it, none of them is greater than 6. That means the longest word length doesn't change again after we encounter 6. So that's how it works. So here we are checking if the longest word length is greater or the current word is greater. So once we get the longest word length, we keep using it and it won't change. The only time it will change if the length of the current word is greater than it. Yeah, so that's why. So I'll remove the console log and I'll run the tests. Hopefully it passes, and it does. So yes, if you came here for just the final solution, this is it, as you can see. And yeah, but if you want to also have a look at our approach and how we did it, you can rewind and then have a look at it. All right, so thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.